All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the SparkCast episode 49. Joining us today are from the community KMKHunter and Brian from Team Dakota. We're just doing waving today, evidently.
I like waving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
waving
me too.
is concise.
I also wanted you to think that you accidentally muted us.
Oh, jeez. All right, so even though I have Twitch muted, it's still trying to play the ad.
Yeah, it did that to me too. I
So
had to
I
just
was
drop
hearing
the slider.
I was feeling the screechy ad. It was playing and stopping, so I'm sure everybody on the Twitch channel loved that. All right, so I guess the big news is what's coming tomorrow. What's coming tomorrow, Ryan?
Thursday, which is a great day. Usually things happen on Thursday.
Usually.
No, yeah, dungeons.
Lots of things.
Yeah, we got a lot of Dungeness things coming. If you're fans of Dungeness Crabs, maybe. But no, it's all Dungeon Descent pack stuff that hits tomorrow, 12 o'clock Pacific time, and once I just can't wait for people to get their hands on it. Like it looks good on stream, but in your hands, it's that and Snap to Grid it's just our team went above and beyond with that. So I'm really excited for the community to finally get that and sort of get our most modular pack that we put out.
And we lost Hunter.
Oh no!
Well, that's gonna be fun because we're gonna have you split in half when it autocorrects.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, let's see if I can avoid him doing that. You keep talking.
Yeah, looks like he's reconnecting.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I had to close the Twitch stream. I don't think it liked it running at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably a good call.
That's right. I thankfully have like 4 screens around me, besides my one here. So
That would be nice.
So,
yeah.
do we have a cost for the dungeon pack yet?
Yeah,
It's coming out tomorrow.
1,000 tokens, 40,000 credits. So same price as leaderboards, as Keys to the Castle, as Desert Dunes, Arctic Glaciers, all of our builder stuff, basically.
It actually seems like it's bigger than the castle pack.
It is. It is Castle Pack, if I remember correctly. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it had 38 props. And Dungeon has 41 props as well as 2 paints. Castle Pack had... I guess Castle Pack had 2 paints. Yeah, that had 2 paints also. And then...
I think it had 3.
It had the wall paint and the roof paint.
Yeah. Did it have a
And I thought it had the stone floor.
I think that came before, didn't it?
I think the stone floor is an unlock.
Okay.
The fancy brick, is that the one you're talking about?
It might be. I don't have
Okay.
Spark open, so I couldn't say for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, you also had 2 music tracks.
Yeah, so that the Keys to the Castle came with 1. This one comes with 2, which are also split into 4 different stems. So you got like the full loop, and then the loop just for bass, just for percussions, just for melody. So you can like mix and match the music. And I'll be honest that one of the songs, the one I used for the trailer for it, is my favorite song in Project Spark.
So far.
Yes, so far. And then, what am I missing? Oh, the random dungeon generator. Yeah, that's right. Our very own Zach decided that we can't ship dungeon without a random dungeon generator, so you're going to get that assembly. We had a tutorial on Tuesday that walk you through how to make your own random dungeon generator or how to tweak ours to make yours however you want. So I'm really looking forward to what people do with that. I know that'll be one of the first things I do, mess around with that.
Yeah, I'm curious about how, you did a stream on it, on tutorial for Tuesday, right? But
yeah,
it still seemed like it was a lot of double loops and stuff like that, and referring to it a lot. So there's a lot of pronouns.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely complex. When you're dealing with something like a random dungeon generator, it just needs to be complex in order to be random and look good in the end. So it is... I mean, I'd say it's probably it is honestly maybe one of our most complex of our brains that we've shipped, just because it has 9 pages of stuff that's, all finding random placements of every room. So yes, it's complex. Hopefully our tutorial, though, you may have to rewatch it once or twice, but hopefully when you watch through it, that gives you all the tools you need to make your own. But yeah, it is definitely complex for sure.
Hunter, is there anything you're looking forward to in particular with the dungeon pack? Like anything you want to make with it?
Yeah, actually, I'm planning on checking out those for each of loops and seeing how they got nested in, because I really want to see if I can try and get a sci-fi dungeon built out of the modular props from like
Yeah.
First Contact.
Yeah, that
Sit
seems
there and get a
reasonable.
better look to it. Well, different look to it, not better.
Well, yeah, the problem with the walls in the sci-fi pack is that they're not all like uniform as the dungeon pack are.
The floor pieces are, though.
Right, so I guess you could change them to be the walls also. I don't know. Should be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. I've been thinking about the same thing. Like that, I don't know why, but a sci-fi dungeon sounds awesome.
Well, it's basically like gonna be Dead Space.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So you just
Yeah.
need to get Matt to make a sci-fi version of the dungeon pack,
Yeah.
a modular space station type thing.
Yeah. What is the equivalent of a dungeon in space?
I said a space station, so you go with that.
I guess so,
Station.
yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the best. I'll go with that, yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you who think it's too complex to touch, the only thing you need to, if you really want to just change out the enemies and the items that are spawned, just look at the very last page on that random dungeon generator. That's what randomly chooses where enemies are spawned and where items and things like that. So if everything looks too complex, that last page is very easy for you to utilize. And if even that looks too complex, just place it and just you have a game right there.
Corey said he's scared if he considers that complex, because Corey's been making his own random dungeon generator.
Oh, his is way more complex than ours. Yeah, I mean, his random dungeon generator is super complex. It's a whole another level of complex. I'm referring to ours versus the other brains that we've kind of shipped as defaults in Project Spark previously.
Well, I mean, as long as you can like change the in-world references to the different enemies and stuff like that,
Yep.
it should be a lot more customizability. You can leave
Yeah.
the engine itself of the dungeon to the default.
Of a random dungeon generator, it's probably one of the more easy ones to understand how we did everything. I think if you have like maybe if you have a few hours understanding code, and as long as you have a good idea of the for each of loop, then you'll be able to follow along with how we did it all.
And
Yeah.
go ahead.
The nested loops, from what I was seeing, were just building a really big grid. So just got to
Yeah.
keep track of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was going to lead into a common topic that's been brought up recently is arrays and
Right.
integrating them into Project Spark, and how this would make how arrays would make this fairly trivial.
Yeah,
So, are we going to be
potentially.
getting arrays? That's a roundabout way of saying it.
Are we going to be getting it? I'll just say it is. It's definitely something we're looking into. We when you get into that, like that's how you accomplish arrays with something like Kcode. Then there's just a lot more considerations you have to make, usability, things like that. But we are just we're investigating a lot of stuff, and that's one of the things that we're investigating, looking at. So it's not off the table. But I can't definitively say yes or no if we're definitely going to be including that sometime in the near future.
Because I work in a programming environment, but I'm not exactly the programmer. But I use arrays extensively. Like the main data structure that I use when I'm working, and it is just so easy to have for loops that go through each column rather than I don't know which order they're going through in the object set. It seems like object sets are more of an object bag than a set. You just throw them into the bag and they fall where they may.
Yeah, it'd be better if they were ordered for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you could have the idea of an array is that you only have one object type in an array, or element type, I should say. So you have like numbers, characters, and then
Booleans,
booleans,
objects.
for that sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. So you already have those variable types in the game, so it would make sense to have array types as well. So you don't actually have to say like normal programming, you'd say array type equals integer or whatever and define it that way. But you guys already have the types of variables that you ever would expect to see. So just putting a new class of object inside the code with that would be easy enough. And two-dimensional, one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional arrays, people could make them themselves, but it'd be a lot easier to do it if they had a base one-dimensional array to start with, rather than right now everyone is starting with each element individually and trying to build an array from that.
Yeah. I'll say easy is relative, but it is definitely something we're looking at.
Well, it makes me very happy to hear that you're looking at it. I just hope it pans out and doesn't turn out to be, oh, we'll have to spend 6 years working on that.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's definitely something we don't have the answer yet about that. But we know, especially recently, it's been something that the community's been talking a lot about. Definitely a much more complex, advanced thing for Project Spark. Obviously has a lot of benefits, as Moose just explained. But so yeah, because of all the hubbub, it's something that we are looking at. I can say
so
that.
as soon as you guys find out for sure, are you just gonna like make a post say, by the way, arrays are coming, or are you gonna let us know 2 weeks
Scream it
before
from
it
the
comes
heavens.
That remains to be seen. I don't quite know. It's murky waters out there for arrays.
out? Oh wait, that sounds like a pun almost. Rays,
I
rays or
guess.
stingrays.
Murky waters.
Sure, yeah. That's exactly what I meant, Moose. Thank you for picking up on my pun.
Yeah, and we'll send you to pun hell for it.
Cool.
So with that, speaking of dungeons, the mini jam had
Right.
its deadline extended 2 weeks for the. Well, we'll get to the next topic, but
Yeah, because sorry guys,
Yeah,
we
no
pooed on
worries.
your parade.
but that does mean more time for people to work on it after they figure out their arrangement for their 4D props they want for use for the CreationJam.
Mm-hmm.
So the prize for the mini jam stays at 100,000 credits per person who is part of the winning entry. So I hope you guys have enough time to work on it and please me. Basically because I'm the lone judge.
Right? As long as it's not 3D action adventure.
And there's no melee combat.
Right, no melee combat.
It pains me that I have to say that, but yeah, those are them's the rules. So speaking
There's
of
a
rules,
lot of that in Spark.
Yeah, speaking of rules, how did the rules end up so complicated for the 10x40 creation jam?
Well, it's because they're not complicated. It's there are nuances that people just want to make sure. Do they fit into 10 unique props? Do they fit into 40 total props? Those are just the nuances. But I mean, it's
a really simple rule set until you get into the details.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But the setup is pretty simple. So we have this creation jam. Entries are all due Sunday, June 21st. By then, KMK, we already saw your music box thing.
It's almost done.
Yeah, Tom's just playing around with it. It's a really, really cool idea. But the general idea with this is you make some sort of experience. We're trying to de-emphasize games also. Sure, you can definitely make games, but we're really interested in seeing, non-game things, just fun experiences that you can make out of it. And we're already seeing people are making some very cool experiences out of there too. So that's really exciting. But let's talk about what the Creation Jam actually is. So the limitations are you need to use, you can't use any more than 10 unique props. And just think of a prop as a model, so like a rock and a tree. Those are unique props. A male and a female, those are unique props. And, that an effect is also a unique prop. And then you have 40 total props you can use during runtime.
What does it mean to be during runtime?
So it just means while we're playing the experience.
So at any given time, you can have a maximum of 40 objects.
If you hit over 40, then you've gone basically past the rules. So 10 unique props, 40 total props running at a time, or in the game, and then also no terrain can be used.
Could it be generated?
No terrain at all.
Okay.
So no terrain, basically no voxels, and then 10 unique props, 40 total props, and that's it. The nuances, where people have been asking a lot of questions are
things like the generation of terrain.
Actually, that's the first time that's been asked, but now you know.
Add it to the fact.
The effects. People have been asking mostly about that because there's a lot of default effects that come on props. And so basically, all things that have a default effect from, like for instance, when something dies, it has this default death effect that plays on it. When a person walks, it has default dust clouds that come up when they're walking. When you have your campfire, when you turn it on, it has default fire in there. So all that default stuff, that doesn't count as additional props. I think that's where the confusion comes in because like what makes those effects different from adding an effect from the gallery, and that's because those are effects you can't really you have no control over. They're there, so that wouldn't count as additional towards the total 40 total props or unique props. And I think that's where the majority of the confusion came from. Is just when you get into the nitty gritty of those effects that play default on props.
And also the issue of after you destroy an effect, it'll linger. So does it still count while it's lingering? And the answer is yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean that basically that's because you could technically have like 2,000 effects play at the same time and just in the course of a few frames, delete them and play them. So that, and then you still get, well, I guess quite a few frames. Right. Yeah. So that's sort of that'd be an exploit. Yeah, that's about it. The only two things that are shoot and throw. Any effects made with those would count towards your total prop limit.
And this is because you're using internal tools, not the object count stuff.
Right. Yeah. We're using some separate tools for checking stuff. Just because we have a nice set of internal tools.
So I'm curious, like, why did you go from Game Jam to a CreationJam? Why are you emphasizing the creation?
Well, there's just been like a lot of really fun little things that people have made in Project Spark, and internally we've done that a lot as well. And so we wanted to help inspire people who just didn't want to make games, who just wanted to have fun. Like I'd say for anyone interested in being part of the CreationJam, really the best result is when you just go crazy with an idea, and just go for that. Like I'd say like two really impressive ones that we've seen already that perfectly embrace what we're hoping more people submit is like Danny Balsub. He submitted a primitive face where when you press A, they stick out their tongue. And it's like that's it. That's like perfect. It's because it's like it's so funny. It's just so out there. It's just like that's the purpose of it, just sticking out and in your tongue. And then Danker Pie used draw lines in this amazing way to create these crazy characters in this little short movie, just sort of about the something of man. I forget the something of man, but that's
Creation
like,
of Man.
Was it Creation of Man? Maybe I forget.
I haven't seen it, so I'm thinking about the one where God's reaching out his hand to Adam, and Adam is just kind of like limply reaching up.
Not quite.
Yeah. And let's see, I'm seeing some questions in chat that I want to get to.
So what will you use as terrain if you don't have voxels?
Just you can either make it so you don't have to have things on terrain. Like if you just use fixed physics on a character, then there's no need for terrain. Or you can place primitive cubes and have people walk on those.
And what about screenshots? Can you use screenshots, or do those count as objects?
So I'm assuming they're talking about screenshots in game.
Right.
So that was a really good question brought up, and so screenshots will count towards your unique prop limit. They won't because like we saw people being able to use a lot of exploits for that. So a screenshot will count towards your unique prop limit.
And what about like icons? Because someone could make an entire game out of icons.
So the icons that are basically all the icons that would count as props if you place in the world, then those will count towards your unique prop limit. The icons just from the icon gallery, those will not, if that makes sense.
So you could still make an entire game out of primitive shapes, icons.
Yeah.
Have 128 of them on your screen at the same time.
Yep, you could do that if you wanted to.
That's not the point of this jam. It's
Yeah.
about making something.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think there has to be like a spirit of competition rule enforced here.
I mean, that's pretty much. I'll say that basically, if we see, we're not looking for the person who is the best at manipulating the rules and finding loopholes in the rules. We're looking just for the most interesting, unique experiences that people are able to make. That's what we're going for. So I'd say if you're just looking for really manipulating the rules and finding little loopholes to make something that's bigger than what other people make, that's probably not going to do you any favors. Because just because you have more stuff in your level than other people, because you're able to find little exploits, doesn't really help you in the long run. So that's what I'll say for that.
I'm trying to understand Project's question, but I don't quite get it.
I can't see the question,
What
so I
about
don't know.
the world screenshots? I'm unable to screenshot much content for my entry. Same deal.
Rephrase and try again.
Yeah.
I
Let's
think
see.
he's talking about the save game screenshot that you see when you're in the feed.
Yeah, but how does that affect your entry
I have no
during
idea.
runtime? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, to get to Master Gamer's question, is UI total a world or player variable? I believe it is for each player. They can see a total of 128 icons at a time. So that means you could have stuff only displayed for player 1 and only for player 2, and then that would you could technically have 128 icons show for player 1, 128 icons show for player 2.
So there's one more thing to this contest we haven't talked about yet: the video blog.
Yeah, as an extra bonus, there's just people that gave really good feedback on creation of Project Spark when they were creating something for past game jams, things like that. So we thought it'd be a great idea to have a additional prize opportunity for you to just create a video blog. And the idea is you can upload it in Play My Creation, you can upload it on YouTube, and it can include anything. It can be just you talking in front of the camera. It can just be you showing off your creation. Doesn't have to be your own voice even. Whatever you want, as long as it is related to what you built in projects in Project Spark for the Creation Jam. And if you submit something, then you'll get 1 month of Spark Premium as well as a few other nice bonuses. So it's really good feedback actually for us to get, like specifically hearing sort of like you working within interesting constraints. It's one of the most beneficial and most valuable things for us to hear. So that's why we're pushing for it. And it's also a great way to just get more people's voices out there, get more people interested in really thinking through their creations by kind of recording themselves talking about their creations.
The deadline is the 21st, correct?
Yeah, deadline for both those is 21st.
All right, KMK, go ahead and do your video blog right now. Talk about your creation process.
Well, honestly, with everything I'm doing, I've only got like 9 props in my world because most of it's all code generated at this point.
So what did you make, and like what made you think about creating it that way?
I'm honestly making a music box, and the whole point of starting to create it that way is because I've been looking through and trying to find ways to actually shrink it, because I'd really like to have a music box in one of my games, and it doesn't shrink down small enough to be like on a table.
Unless you make everything else
is
huge.
Yeah, right. Everything would have to be like 300 to 400% scale for it to look halfway normal at this point.
We do that all the time. Internally, we do that all the time. Like the in the dungeon descent video, the knight holding up the shield, he's very big because the shield has about 100 props in it.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, Keith was really detailed with that shield. It's like we don't show it close enough, but oh man, if you look close to that shield, it's amazing.
Are you going to share it?
That'd be cool.
Potentially. You might potentially do that. Getting to a question from Smorfishone. Really good question about, he's sort of a bit newer to Project Spark, so should they focus on making a 2D game or 3D game, or a 2D experience, 3D experience? I would honestly say just whatever gets you excited, just start messing around with stuff. And if you start making something that you feel like is really cool, you're probably on a good path. And so just start messing with stuff. Like I know, for instance, um, while while Word Andrew was at our offices, I already got a sneak peek of something that he was working on, and it was just because he's just started messing around with stuff in Project Spark, and he had this really cool idea because he was messing around with a few things and said, "Oh, let me do that thing." So I just recommend. Sorry, it's a she. So I just recommend that just experiment, and whatever is the coolest, weirdest, craziest idea that you come up with, go for that. And you can submit multiple times too. So if you have a few crazy ideas, you can submit more than one of them.
The idea I have in mind only uses 2 props, so for the remainder of the props, I'm just going to use a bunch of stupid stuff to be superfluous and distracting of the rest of the content.
You don't have to have 10, like exactly 10 unique props.
No, I'm going to follow the rules. It doesn't say less than or equal to 10 times 40, less than or equal to 40. It's just 10 by 40, so I'm going to do exactly that.
Okay. Does it count if we use Xbox Upload Studio and post to Xbox Live for our video blogs? If you do that, we won't be able to find it, so just post it and play this creation as well.
And then link to it there.
Yeah, post a link to it and play this creation. Can we collaborate? Yes, you can collaborate, but we will only give out 1 prize for each of the places. So you're just going to have to work with your collaborators on figuring out who gets what. Because we can split up stuff, so because we're giving out credits. So it's easier to split up. So just know that you're working with a slightly smaller pot. And also, we'll leave it up to you to duke it out who is the one, if you get grand prize, who gets to choose
What's that grand prize?
is.
What's the grand prize prop?
So the grand prize, along with a year of premium and 500,000 credits and 5 upload slots.
Who cares about that stuff? What's a good part?
I know. You get to work with us on making a prop in Project Spark. And so what we'll do is we'll get in touch with you. Basically, the winner, we will establish communication with them. Get from them what their prop is that they want to be made in Project Spark. Two things that I should note: we won't be able to work on characters with you because characters take a lot of time and really complex stuff, stuff that requires a lot of new tech that just isn't in Project Spark today. Those are the 2 things that we won't be able to work with on you. So it's going to be a back and forth process of, we're gonna talk with you and you say what your prop is. Most likely it'll be cool. That sounds great. Then we actually will work on sort of the concepting of it and show you that along the way. And then show you actually us making the modeling of it in game, and then or not in game, before in game, and then showing it actually in game. So you're actually going to be with us kind of each step of the way as we're making this, and actually making sure that this prop is sort of what you had envisioned.
This is actually my idea. Because a long time ago, you guys...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You guys like...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I think the question was posed like, what would make you a fan for life? And I was like, design my own content pack.
Right.
And then you guys... Well, you weren't even with the team at that point, were you?
No, I wasn't on the team yet, no.
I think you were you were one of the people who answered the question, too.
Yeah, and I think I agreed with you, actually, when I said, oh, man, if I could design my own prop, I'd be done. Yeah, so, like, we knew that we could do something really interesting with this competition, make it really lasting, so that you can actually make that thing that you've always wanted to be made in Project Spark, and then we'll name it after you also, and come up with a name for it with you too. And the cool thing is, we're gonna just make it free for everybody. So you make it with us, and then everyone gets it.
So
that's actually really cool.
To the people in chat, there's actually a little bit of competition right now. To the person who comes up with the best prop, the 3 of us will vote on it. Your best prop idea for what you would want if you won the grand prize. I will give you 40,000 credits so that you can buy the dungeon pack tomorrow with the credits.
Oh, cool. And can I just say that I'm nixing anything in relation to lizard men? If people say lizard men type things, I will just vote no.
Well, KMK is going to vote yes if he knows what's good for him.
A lizardman is a character, so therefore it's not something that we can build.
Lizardman statue.
Statue.
Lizardman statue.
Right, because then, you know why you would want a Lizardman statue?
Because then we'd have to build lizardmen eventually.
Yes, because you'd be promising that there are lizardmen in Spark.
It's a perfect plan.
Yeah.
See? And if anyone knows anything about this, it's a great idea.
Okay.
See? You just admitted it. We're getting lizardmen confirmed. Brian is so fired.
Good question from Project Sparker. So we did say the winner can share their winnings. We're fine with that. If you want to like pass on your credits or your premium to other people, can we choose the prop's name to be someone else's name? We'll talk to you about that. I think we probably have to get that.
That's a great name.
we probably want to. It depends on the situation. I think we might want to get the other person's okay that it's okay. Like maybe if you want to name it after another community member, just checking with that community member saying, hey, can we name this after you? Because some people don't want something named after them. So it's a good idea. I think we'll just work with the winner on that naming.
The moose lizard statue.
Yeah.
That'll confuse absolutely no one.
The moose lizard statue? Oh my god, that would be the best name of a prop ever.
People would be like, what? It doesn't have antlers. What are they talking about? And who is Moose?
Where's the antlers?
Yeah. Why is there no moosiness to this lizard?
Indeed.
Ooh, some good ones already. All right. We have a clam with a pearl, toilet prop named Paradox and Moose, barbed wire. There's some good ones so far. Corey Blinn said nuclear explosion.
Oh, so like a mushroom cloud with the
Appreciate
ring?
you reading those.
Yeah. A Mimu icon. Is that Master Gamer said?
Someone already
Mimu
made a
icon.
nuclear explosion. We don't need another one of those.
Yeah, that's true. So Master Gamer said Mimu icon. Master Gamer, was that the cow? Is that the name of the cow in Project Computer? Mimu? I think that is. A red chili pepper, a straight creation ribbon.
Could someone make a card?
Probably, yeah.
So you could get a sprite that way.
Yeah, you probably could do that, yeah. I think, like, probably we could even do an effect, so, like, even that nuclear explosion thing could be a potential. Not sure. That's something we hadn't thought about because we said props, but that's why, again, like, the person could say the craziest thing, and so that's why we'll have to work with them on, that's feasible, or thinking about that's feasible if we accomplish it this way.
Watch Mr. Xbob win, and so he gets a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to do the primitive anymore.
Yeah. A deck of cards. Yeah, deck of cards, a banana. Interesting. A Red Hot Chili Peppers CD. Okay.
I'm sure they would have absolutely no issue.
Yeah. Garlic. I see a pattern with a smorfishone of sort of food items. A book. Yeah, a few people I've seen said a book.
A book looks like a good idea.
Yeah, with like a power on and off state of opening and closing.
Yeah.
The other thing I saw that was pretty popular was a pane of glass.
Yeah, pane of glass. I've seen that a lot. Stone slab with caveman drawings. That's interesting.
I'm not sure where that would fit.
And a missile or a rocket. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do miss those.
Yeah.
Hunter, what would you make if you won? Do you already know what you're gonna ask for?
No, not really.
So you're just gonna hand it over to me, right?
Don't do that. Don't do that. He will not best represent the community.
Absolutely not. I do enough for you losers.
Right? All the time.
Yeah.
So that was the Mimu. That was the Project Computer thing, because I don't know
Yeah.
what that is otherwise. Okay.
That was a Project Computer thing.
you
Riot
already made it.
Shield. Yeah, but actually, like, I guess actually getting that in game without having to use icons to make it.
Oh, like the flat sheep or whatever it is?
Yeah,
The
something
sheep
something
cutout?
like that. Yeah, so it'd be like a Mimu cutout.
Oh, I think we have a winner. A golden statue of Majestic Moose.
Oh. Oh my.
Potentially.
It's an idol, right?
Yeah.
Engraven image, all that fun stuff.
Well, the ones that I see as most useful so far that people said is Riot Shield, because you could also kind of use it as a pane of glass. Book, Rocket.
Well, there was that one amazing idea for a masculine lizard man statue.
Yeah, I think you were the one who made it.
No, actually, Nini did. She's very
Oh.
smart.
And also barbed wire. I think that's a good one. That's a good idea too.
Was the lizard man actually typed in chat?
Yep,
It
I don't
was
think he
typed in
counts it.
chat.
at
Ah.
8:33.
Yeah.
And a timestamp.
Unfortunately, someone did type it in chat.
So we know. All right, so let's go ahead and vote. All in
What-
favor
what
of the
if we
lizard man
all-
statue?
No. What if we all say something different then?
I was gonna say book.
I'd have to say either book or the Riot Shield.
Wait, I think it'd be weird if I said, because I'm on Team Dakota, so we're gonna be the ones working with you on it.
Well, you don't know who said it.
That's
Yeah, you're not actually saying what it is, just this is
That's
the
true.
best idea right now.
I would say book also. Book would be just really, really cool.
All right, well, I'm actually have to look up who actually said that because.
Lady Laren said that.
Yeah, several people did, but Laren was the first. All right, so
Nice.
I'll be sending Lady Laren 40,000 credits.
Awesome. Congrats, Laren.
Right? Good job on that.
So she'll
That
get
was a
Dungeon
good
Pack day
choice.
Yeah, and it's great for her because she has if like she were to win or whoever won decided on a book, then she'd finally get books for her library because she has a library for Spark City, where she'd finally be able to put books in it.
Real books.
One with words that open
Yeah.
like this.
Exactly.
Maybe some pictures.
Ooh, picture book. Oh, can we have pop-up pictures in the book? No, don't
that
actually
would-
do that.
Wait, but that sounds great.
That sounds good for one book, but I don't think it's good for all books.
Right.
All
Exactly.
of the books.
Imagine you're having your character open a spell book, and then a little child and a dog pop out of it. I'm casting Blizzard, and then
Yeah, but that could be a great animation for like loading a level too. Like open a book, the level pops up, and then
Yeah.
you start playing.
yeah, but so now we're going to need cards as pages to fit inside these books.
Yeah. Some
That
really,
pop-up.
really, really thin rectangles.
Tips on acquiring credits fast. Well, we have a lot of daily challenges. Thankfully, you've come at a good time because we have
This weekend.
double XP credits weekend, so you get twice the credits Friday through Monday morning than you normally would. So you'll have, I guess actually you can plug into 4 extra days of twice the credits that you'd normally get for challenges and such.
Well, that and
Um,
also the treasure trove, the
Right.
minor one is 1 day of premium, so you can use that 1 day of premium on one of those double XP days, and then
And get-
4 XP credits days, and you'll get 4 times.
Yeah, you'll get quadruple XP. Mm-hmm.
So hopefully your
That's
day,
the minor prize this week is 1 day.
Yep.
the major is Doom
Nice.
Cudgel,
Yep.
The club.
the club.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the last time we're going to see the club in the treasure trove?
It's probably the last time you'll see it as a grand prize. You may see it pop up again at some point. I'm not sure.
Play it by ear.
But yeah, we'll play it by ear. I think some things we
Put
want
it on a
we
random
definitely
number
want-
generator.
What?
Put it on a
So-
random number generator.
Oh,
Yeah, have it come up like 4 times in a row.
yeah. We actually have a schedule for like what stuff it comes out, like what we have as grand prizes and wild card prizes for each week. But yeah, I think with most items, the ones that were kind of exclusive for the treasure trove, we'll definitely want to bring them all back at least one other time. And we have a lot of other items that are new for the treasure trove that'll be coming out different random weeks. So some weeks you might find a totally new item.
So next
like
week is there going to
checkerboard paint.
next week is there going to be a new item associated with the dungeon pack similar to the checkered paint was related to leaderboards?
What I will say is next week will be a new item.
That we haven't seen before?
Should I even say item? Next week will be something new that you haven't seen before.
Will it be related to the dungeon pack? You didn't answer it, but you didn't answer it, but you're thinking about answering it.
I pretty much answered it.
It's a yes or no question.
Some people could say that it is related. Some people could say maybe it's not. We'll see what you think.
Interesting. Okay.
And yeah, the grand prize, whatever the grand prize is, will be something new.
Project has an interesting question. Is there going to be any other way to spend the tickets in the future? Because I currently have like over 100.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we're looking at quite a few different ways that you can utilize your tickets. I think for premium members, they're going to just keep on stacking more and more. So we're going to give you ways to utilize those extra tickets you have, so they're not all collecting dust.
It's going to be a slot machine.
Yeah, go play in the Sparkcade.
Yeah. You guys are going to have to move your establishment to Vegas so you can actually be legal.
Oh.
Moving from Seattle to Vegas. Yeah, that'd be great.
Amnesia Master asks,
all of Seattle.
If we want a new weapon, could we make a new set of animations for it? Probably not. I don't know. It's that's gonna be a judgment call on the type of weapon you want and the type of animations you want that go along with it. But I would say probably not if it requires like all new animations for every single character. But if it's, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what you have in mind when if you're declared the winner, and then we can work with you on getting what you want or very close to what you want.
That actually reminds me of a fairly active topic on the Spark request forums at the moment.
Animations, right?
Yep. Melee combat animations.
How to make melee better.
Yep.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on like how could Spark make melee combat better and not be banned from mini jams in the future?
I think I don't know. There's a lot that people can do with. There's a lot people can do with the animations. I mean, basically, what you can do is you can take our current animations, and if you have the time, you can tweak them to what you want. Built in though, the default animations, I'd say for a lot of people, it's probably because they've just seen those basically 3 sets of animations over and over again. They want to make more, and I think that's probably one of the root reasons a lot of people want to see more different animations, their own kinds of animations, because for a lot of the community, they've been around for a year and a half working with kind of the three animation sets. You got the blunt weapon, regular sword weapon, and the dagger type weapon, and all the animations assorted with those for melee combat. And then you have the 3 different types of the punches. So I think what could help with it is just looking at additional animation sets. Giving you more ways to modify your own animations. There's a few different things that can happen there.
Right. Instead of making a dagger invisible so you can get that spinning punch.
Right.
I think the crux of my argument has always been like functionality over, aesthetics or visual appeal, because a lot of the melee combat in Spark currently is not based on making things functional, it's based on making them wacky and look cool. So you have a bunch of cool looking animations, but they're not terribly efficient or not even the least concise. Like if you look at classic games like Zelda, ActRaiser, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Rogue Legacy is new, but those all have like very concise, repeated animations over and over again, but you don't get tired of them because they're effective. And you do one slash either while you're walking or standing still, and you do that over and over again throughout the entire game, but you don't get tired of it because it's effective and it's efficient and it's actually has an area a defined area of where you know you're going to strike when you swing. Whereas you don't
Mhm.
have that same luxury in Spark.
No, not unless you build a lock on and still a little off.
Right. But the
Yeah.
area of effect, I think, is the crux of my issue when I talk about why combat is not desirable in Spark at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I just made Brian feel bad.
Yeah, I shield this from Steve-O.
Well, hey, I would love to see what Steve-O does enemies, but he doesn't. Has he made any character unique characters that would make combat fun?
No, he works on or all the enemy stuff, all the like enemy logic, mini bosses,
But he
standard
never
enemies.
transitions over to making characters.
Well, that is that's like the full. It's a lot of people when you look at when you're talking about characters because so what you have when you're making a character is you have the design team, the animation team, and the art team all coming
Well, I'm just
together to
talking about
figure out.
logic, coding.
So like just the K code for it.
Yeah, K code for characters.
Oh yeah, he's done that before. It's waffled in the past between him and Claude working on characters.
But Claude's no longer with you guys, is he?
Um, I don't know. I guess you can.
I heard he moved on to a different team based on his LinkedIn page.
I guess you could look that up for something for yourself.
Oh, that's too bad. We liked Claude. Assuming he's not with you anymore.
Assuming, yeah.
So, KMK, what kind of games do you like to make in Spark, given the limitations of melee combat?
As far as games, I'm actually looking at a scrolling shooter type game, but I'm going to be making these scrolling in different directions so that you can make turns in the game and not just go in one direction the whole time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So you go side scroller one direction, then you go side scroller deep. So side scroller width and then side scroller depth.
Kind of like that. Imagine if you were playing Invasion 2, you always go into the right,
Mhm.
and then you get to a junction point, and if you move up, you end up going to the left, in this case, screen up, or if you go down, you go screen down, and then the scrolling will match for the new direction that
Oh,
you're facing.
okay. I see. That's cool. I do actually remember a game called UN Squadron. It was a side scroller shooter of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And it went backwards through the level sometimes when you were doing a strafing run or whatever. So kind of
I
similar
don't think
to
I
that.
played that one.
It's actually a really good game. It made like the top 100 on SNES games of all time. It
No.
was a bit weird though, because you're getting these. It was a 1990s game, but you're getting these weapons for these old jets that are not even made yet. It's like lasers and pulse cannons and stuff like that, and attaching them to your ship. You're like, and you're one plane going against the entire Iraqi army or whatever.
Well, that doesn't sound too horrible.
No, you just get shot a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
That's okay, though. Infinite respawns, you'll be fine.
How about you, Brian? What are you gonna make after you get the dungeon pack? Or are you not a player anymore?
Am I not a player?
Yeah, you don't play Spark anymore because you work for it.
No, I still log in. I still log like average 3-4 hours a night back at home.
And this is what an addict looks like, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing with it. It actually won't be. I'll probably play around with the random dungeon generator, but I've been working on this. I think at the very beginning of the year I did talk about the fact that I had this really long form game that I always had an idea to make, and now I have no excuse not to make it. So I've been working on that a lot, and I specifically have a temple section. I've been waiting for this dungeon pack to use for the temple section. So I'm probably going to build that. But the problem is there's like 2 other stages I have before I get there. So I'm just going to skip those and make the dungeon stuff because I'm so excited about making the dungeon stuff. But I need to make like this town and also this like mountainous area first. But whatever. I'm so excited for dungeons, I'll just skip.
I'm actually wondering with the dungeon assembly with the random dungeon builder, how easy it would be to attach like a sample noise or something to that, so we'd be able to get a repeatable dungeon, so we could make like instances for a game.
Yeah, that was. I remember you were asking that on stream on Tuesday, and
Hmm.
yeah, it requires more. It requires more work, but it's doable if you just. You probably would have to set a limit on your amount of floors that you have at some point, and just record, whatever the data is for each floor, so you can remember what that makeup is for that floor.
So more like a seed system.
Yeah, exactly. So like you just kind of you'd have to basically create on top of that a seed system, and then I would comfortably be able to do maybe like 20 to 30. You could probably get up to. I mean, you could theoretically get up to 100 floors using that system. So it is totally doable. It will definitely, yeah, it'll require the seeding system, and then recording those seeds, and then remembering what that actually means. So like storing. So the idea is generally what you'd be doing is whatever the makeup of each of the rooms is, you would have some numerical way that explains what that actually means, right? That's kind of where the seed comes from. So as long as you just come up with the best way to record that as a number, then you're golden. Or you can record it with a bunch of different stuff as a text variable, and it's like a number plus a name plus this plus that equals this overall text variable, and use it as like a text string to then remember that.
That could work out.
Yeah, but you'd have to. It would be interesting because you'd have to then figure out how that seed system plugs back into regenerating that thing with the random dungeon generator.
Probably have to save them with campaign variables. That way they would always be the same for the same person's world.
Right, exactly.
So we saw Zach for the first time in a long time. Corey brings up a question, and he was without his beard. Is his beard on the loose? Is it like damaging the nearby Seattle?
amok.
Is the Space Needle still intact? What happened to his beard?
Yeah, he's been beardless for quite a few weeks now. It's summertime and beards get hot. Like his big bushy beard got hot, so he's been beardless for a while now. I think the last time you saw him on a stream, he was not beardless. He was very much bearded.
He was very bearded.
Good question. Did we get flag physics because of Conqueror's Tale? Yes, you did. We did a lot of work on Conqueror's Tale, and we realized that could be applied to other things. So we did a lot of new physics work to get Conqueror's Tale working and working naturally, so that when he's moving, it can move in certain ways. And then we took the physics we made for that, we modified that for the flag. So yes, we did that. Did directly result in the flag physics. We did have to do quite a few modifications to make it feel like a flag and not a tail like flopping around. But yeah.
Master Gamer wants to know: can you take an existing project and reuse elements of it, I guess, for the CreationJam?
So we don't have any limitations on using past work, but I will say it probably will very negatively affect your innovation score. Other things, if you're just reusing stuff you've made, a lot of stuff you've made in the past. It's not really, I mean, what you like for Project Computer, it's super innovative, right? But it has already been made. So if you're basically just using that exact thing with a few tweaks here and there,
by definition, it's not innovative.
Exactly. So just know if you rely heavily on using past stuff, your innovation score is probably going to get really beaten up.
Oh, since you guys are good friends with Rare, could you guys get GoldenEye stuff into Spark?
Well, there's more than just Rare when you talk about James Bond.
What do you mean?
Table. There's such a thing as MGM and whatever his name is, the author. God, why am I blanking on his name?
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Is that? Wait, no.
No, he's the guy who made
Sherlock Holmes?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. At least I know the difference between. His last name is an F. I forget.
All right, so we're about up on time. KMK, do you have any final thoughts for the community?
Honestly, I really hope to see a whole bunch of different things coming out for the Creation Jam, because a lot of people I was seeing were staying out because they didn't feel like they could build a game in 3 weeks. But I really hope that people can get at least this done in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Like, really, simple is good with this. Going simple is good. The example I gave of a primitive face that sticks out its tongue, that is a very valid entry for this Creation Jam. So think small like that. Think small and crazy. Don't think big. Don't think the past game jams. The winners were X-Zero, a huge complex racer that had amazing polish all across, and then the Furious Little King, which also had amazing polish, full game, all these different things.
The garage mode was amazing.
Yeah, the garage mode was so epic. It reminded me of Episode 1 Pod Racer, which was one of my favorite games for N64, kind of a guilty pleasure.
Sorry.
What? You didn't like it?
I didn't play it, but it sounds awful.
Oh, it was awesome. But anyways,
It wasn't horrible.
Yeah, I like the upgrade system they had. It was kind of cool and cute. But don't think big like that. Think small. So if you've been worried about seeing the caliber of winners from the past 2 big game jams, don't even compare this with that. It's such a different ball game with this, and that's why it's also called a Creation Jam instead of a game jam. Ian Fleming, thank you. Ian Fleming was the name of the writer for James Bond.
All right, so that's going to do it for us, and I'm going to remind you guys that tomorrow's stream on the official Team Dakota channel is going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific, at 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'm assuming you guys are going to cover the dungeon pack that's being released tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have BJ, Keith, either or, one or the other or both, and we'll be showing off more dungeon goodness. And the best thing is, it'll already be released by then, so you guys can play around with it as well.
We're not going to be listening to you guys at all. We're just going to be playing with it.
Yeah, just be playing around with it. Yeah, honestly, we really want to hear your thoughts and feedback on when you get your hands on it, on how good Snap to Grid feels to you. Like, this is the direction that we want to go towards with making stuff more modular for you guys. So
it took so long to get you to this point, but I think you're finally closer.
So anyways, give us your thoughts and feedback on how good Dungeon feels for you.
And then Friday you have the Play My Creation stream on the mornings.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we'll be playing some really good stuff. It's actually, you don't want to miss it. It's a really cool stream. The stream's been getting better and better. Last week we had a Word Andrew. This week I think we might have another guest.
Stream.
Yeah, indeed. Or can't miss YouTube video.
Indeed. All right. So thanks everybody for joining us this week. Next week will be the 50th episode of Spectacular for some reason.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Good night, everybody. All right, we're off. Brian, what's the next pack after Dungeons?
Yeah, we're gonna give you your lizard statue in the next pack.
Wait. Wait.
It's the Lizard Man pack.
For real?
Yes, it is for real, sure.
I hate you so much.